Hey guys, this is One Giant Leap. Thank you all for tuning in. A lot to get through today, but the first and foremost of all of that is that Robo Bebe has been released as part of the Robo Bebe event. Now, to start this off, for those of you who are not aware, Robo Bebe was given out to various YouTubers and streamers. This was done at the average level, or I don't know exactly how it was decided, but essentially it was the average level of their commons, at least seemingly in whatever competitive deck they were playing. So most streamers did get it at level 5. I know there's been a couple who have gotten that at level 4 or level 3. I guess the first thing is, what does this tell us? First and foremost, this is an inadvertent admission by RedLynx. An inadvertent admission that cards are impossible to level up in this game. There's no real way to feature these cards except on developer stream, which of course there will be none this week because Steve is on vacation, so they felt that they needed some way to show this off, and to do so, you can't just give a copy or two to players because the card's not going to be playable. And what happens from what we've seen from these past events is as such. A card gets released for the event. At most, you're getting a few copies of it. Maybe you're getting more copies if there's premium offers available, such as in the case of Cupid Cartman, but besides that, you're going to be stuck with a few. At that point, a card does not seem to then come out for a couple of months, aka, Hercules Clyde, for example, at which point then, it's still going to be several weeks after that in terms of requests and coins and materials that you need to get that to a competitive level. Basically terrible in terms of YouTube content. So this was given out. Why? Exposure, I think, is definitely a big part of the reason. Like I said, they do want to show the card off, but I think a bigger part of this is controlling the narrative. The big feature update, which dropped a couple weeks back and had a couple of miscellaneous fixes thrown into there, the big feature update was a disaster. Before that, you had the Mystic nerfs and no compensation to the player base. A disaster. And so where are we now? We're in a situation where the top YouTubers are showing off their Robo Bebe instead of just talking about the ongoing things within the game. And so in a lot of ways, I think RedLynx did this very intelligently because or at least in their minds they did, because they're trying to control the narrative of what people are talking about. And with this type of thing thrown at you, it's not going to leave much time for talking about the serious issues that the game continues to be plagued with. So let's move forward a bit to some comments that were made on today's stream, actually, this morning, by AvrgGuy777's. Now, the Discord, the Reddit, people are a little bit up in arms about these cards just being handed to the YouTube community. Understandably so. A level 5 common is no joke. That's immediately competitively viable in Legendary, assuming the card is at least halfway decent, which Robo Bebe seems to be. Now, AvrgGuy's comment was that the YouTubers deserve this for the time and effort they put in. Wow. I think that is an astounding entitlement mentality which was just revealed right there. Because it's neglecting a couple of things. First and foremost is the fact that objectively, you don't put in the type of time that the top players in the game do. And I'm talking about the tippy top. Say what you will, but that was the argument. It's about time and effort. So, okay, if it's about time and effort, then what about the time and effort put in by players like Illo, and Slavius, and Suppress? Guys who play this game a ton every day and are consistent top 5 players. Did they not put in the effort? Did they not put in the time? Just because some of your time is going to make yourself a YouTube video thumbnail doesn't mean that they didn't put the effort in to get something. What about people who, alright, so the guys who aren't top 5 players, the guys who just are playing hours a day, and dedicating themselves to making themselves better players. They didn't put the effort in? That's just silly talk. Your reward isn't a level 5 Robo Bebe. Your reward is the views and the money that you get from being on YouTube. And of course, you and a couple of others being the only ones currently at the point that you can monetize. But there's your facts. You were members of the South Park Phone Destroyer YouTube community that have the ability to turn YouTube vids into money. If that's what you're going for, great. But don't act like that entitles you to something being handed to you by the game creators. That's crazy. The Red Lynx needs to take a page out of the book of rewarding all players for sticking with the absolute disaster that has been in place the past month. Not just YouTubers who take some time to record themselves playing the game and throw it up. That's ridiculous. What I do when I play or when I make a video like this does not come anywhere close to the effort that's put in by some of the players in this game. Moving past that a bit, this was given out to some YouTubers who had less than 100 subscribers, guys who have only a few videos. So obviously, it wasn't about effort, otherwise that wouldn't have been relevant in the first place. And nothing was given to those who put in a lot of effort outside of the YouTube and Twitch community. It's amazing. I sincerely hope that the South Park Phone, or the Game Press guys, the southparkphone.gg, I'll link it in the description, who've given us a ton of valuable information that they've been able to scrape from the game's coding since the transparency has been non-existent by Red Lynx itself. I think they've given me more useful information than probably any YouTubers ever have. I go to that website constantly just to say, when's Marcus gonna get his next level up damage bonus? I don't know, and there's no accessible official information about this. Those guys put in effort. A lot of others put in effort. So that's not the deciding factor here. And to see you come out with that, to see that entitlement slip through your video, I think really does say a lot about you and the way you view yourself and the way you view the community. Now I want to give you guys a little bit of inside information from what's been happening within the YouTube community. So after the BFU, the Big Feature Update, or as many players called it, the Big Fuck You, the Big Fuck Up, whatever you want to say, justifiably so. After that happened a couple of weeks ago, there was about a week with some backlash, and some of the YouTube community on Discord basically came out within their own YouTube SPPD Discord and were saying that they were done, that they were going to be moving on, and I had some interest there because what they said was, we're going to try to find the next game. And the thought process was that maybe a bunch of the YouTube community would band together, move on to the next mobile, or whatever the case may be, you know, whatever mobile they felt like deserves it and deserves some play. And first and foremost, I just want to say that whenever talk like this is happening, it's not a good sign in general, so that should be cluing all of you, and hopefully Red Lynx in, to the general mentality of the player base right now. But it seemed like some of the YouTube community was moving forward with it. I think I've seen some of them playing some other games, which is nice, you know, streaming some other games, which is good to see. But I think for some, views were more important, and at the moment, you know, starting off any of those other games, it's always going to be a bit of an issue there in terms of the initial views you're going to get and the drop-off you're going to have for people who don't have any interest there. If you're really moving forward with that, it takes some honesty. So let me start off with some honesty of my own. While this was happening, I, through my frustration, ended up making a post which certainly made some good points, but in that post, I ended up calling the coding team for Red Lynx retards. Now you can debate here and there about my use of the word, whether it was right or not. Could there have been better words picked? Sure. At the end of the day, I'm never going to call someone who has an actual mental disability retarded. But I will stick with my words in calling the coding team retarded if they thought anything that they put out over the last couple of weeks was acceptable. None of the bugs that they said were fixed, and in fact, a bunch more were introduced. So I stick with my words, harsh as they may be, and own them. Now, in terms of some honesty for all of you moving forward, well, how does Red Lynx decide who gets these Robo Bebes? I think what they said was 50 subscribers. All right, so that's a nothing burger. Anybody can get that easy. So I would encourage all of you to go out there, start a channel. Start a channel. You know, collaborate with the guys on the Discord. I'm sure you'll find a bunch of people willing to help you get up to that 50 sub mark. It's not that much. If that's what it takes to get actual support from the creators of this game, then I say go for it. But you have to be a member of the South Park Phone Destroyer YouTube channel, which is owned by AvrgGuy. So just remember, if you say something he doesn't like, if you say something that's too harsh to the creators of a game, no matter what the situation, you're getting kicked. If he finds any other reason that he's pissed off at you, you're getting kicked. Man, oh man, wouldn't that be nice? I'm still modding the subreddit and the Discord, and wouldn't that be nice if all of us just went around willy-nilly kicking people that we didn't disagree with, or that said something silly? Man, oh man. So that's what you're going to have to deal with. So moving forward, create your channel, do what you got to do, but you better kiss ass when it comes to AvrgGuy, because at the end of the day, he is apparently the official Red Lynx decider. Because if you are not a member of this channel, you are not getting a thing. SDNW, great YouTuber, did a 24-hour stream. Can you even imagine that? Because I can't. I don't think I would ever do something like that. But he did. All the credit in the world to him. Probably brought a bunch of exposure to this game in doing so, to people that had never seen it before, to people that he got excited about it. And guess what? He's not a member of that official Discord, so he didn't get shit. But someone with 51 subscribers who's made a few videos and started a week ago, they've got it. As long as they make sure they're in that Discord. What it comes down to is, when views or money influence you more than your integrity and your principles. And I think that's what we've seen some of the time. Anybody who's involved in this game for any length of time, it's pretty obvious some of the issues that they have. And either we can address those and face those head on, or we can do what the Red Lynx developers have done, which is lie or ignore. Or we can do what some of the YouTubers out there have done. Specifically, of course, in this case, I'm referring to AvrgGuy, who says some of the right things, but at the end of the day, when it came down to taking a stand, that stand was broken the second he got handed something by Red Lynx management. The second he got that reassurance of, oh, don't worry, you're better than the rest of the community. You deserve this, bro. All that integrity, all that fight was gone. Unsurprisingly so, because it broke through when it's a live stream, when you're not curating the things that you say. Sometimes things like that can slip through. I deserved it for the work I put in, guys. Sorry, I deserve it. So, let's take a moment, and I want to show off the response of a YouTuber who actually deserves it. So this is on the this is on the South Park Phone Discord, and this was the post that basically giving the PSA about the Robo Bebe, and I just want to read out Pharaoh's post. Pharaohdon on Reddit, Pharaoh TV on YouTube, great content. I got the level 5 baby as well. This was not communicated with me, I just got it and I want them to take it back. I appreciate the idea of us getting the opportunity to show the cards and their future potential. It might get some hype going, why not? But because of how the game works, we shouldn't get free progress just like that, out of nowhere. I understand the frustration, and I've already voiced my opinion that we should get them removed after the event is over. My initial reaction was my stomach hurting, like in an instant. Every instinct of me knew right away that this is wrong, this will cause pain to everyone. If they give us access to an account that has the card to fool around with, it would be a win for all of us. We YouTubers can have some fun and make a video, you guys can watch it, Redlinks gets free promotion for a new card. Now the community is mad, YouTubers harvest dislikes, and Redlinks gets hate. Indeed, Pharaoh. Indeed. That right there is a man who's kept his integrity. And that right there is a man who I believe, even as he's crossed the 1,000 subscriber mark and begins to get monetization on his videos, that he will keep his integrity. Because of everything I've seen him say, all the videos I've watched, the things I've seen him post, I believe he's someone who will stick with it. But guys like Average Guy, and I have to call it out, guys like JGrayBKK, I don't think I've ever seen him say one negative thing about the game. My God, he made 2 videos. He made 2 videos on the big feature update hot fixes, showing Steve's face photoshopped onto some bodybuilder's body. Like, bro, just clean off your nose. We get it. They shout you out during streams. You don't have to shove your nose so far up their ass that you can't see anything anymore. It's ridiculous. It doesn't help anybody. There were some people who did that for Pokemon Go, and guess what? The game's dead. Because not enough people were rallying the developers to deal with the obvious issues that the game had. And the day that people like me, the day that people who aren't doing this for money, stop making these videos, well, that's when you know that people like us have quit. And that's when the game is on its way to death's door. That is something I'm trying to avoid at all costs. Now, Pharaoh brought up a great point about keeping it. You know, I have to admit, when this was given out, my initial thought was, wait, what? And I saw some people discussing this along the lines of, well, what are they going to do? Are they going to let them keep it? And I thought, wait, keep it? No friggin' way, right? At level 5? I mean, this has to be temporary. But here's the problem. They didn't give out these cards at level 4 or level 5. They gave it out to you at level 1 and gave the appropriate coins and sci-fi mats. There was no restriction on those coins or sci-fi mats. Those could have easily been spent on another card. How are those going to get taken back? They couldn't even take back the double top 50 legendary pack that was given out for season 1, and you expect them to take away coins and upgrade mats if somebody decides to throw these into something else? What does it come down to? 300 cards, 13,000 coins, 340 bronze mats, 160 silver, 45 gold. Assuming, and I haven't checked this, assuming that they only gave you enough materials to get to base level 5, not upgraded level 5. If it's upgraded level 5, it's a mess more coins, bronze, silver, and gold mats. So what does this mean? It almost certainly means that every single person who got that card is keeping it. What a fuck you to your entire community. And I know some of you might say, oh, Brad, I bet your tone would be different if you got the card. No, my tone would be like Pharaoh's, but in fact, it would be a little bit harsher than Pharaoh's. The YouTubers don't deserve the card. Everybody deserves the card. Everybody deserves the ability to test one of these new cards to see whether it's worth putting the coins and the materials and the team requests into it. Because as I've said before, and I will say again, leveling in this game is extremely punishing. So if you in fact do, Redlinks, have the ability to take this card back, then simply give everyone the card and a means to test it out on a temporary basis during the event. And that way, if people decide they like it, if you've made a good card, then they'll spend the money and the time and the effort, the time and the effort, to get the card up to where it is. That's time and effort, Average Guy. The requests, the coins, the leveling, not sitting there making a YouTube video. I continue to sit and hope that Redlinks does better, and then they don't. And when I saw the YouTube community take a stand a week ago and say, no, we're done until something improves, I was really proud of those guys. I really was, especially someone like AvrgGuy who says that, and I thought, wow, you know, with his monetization, he's putting it on the line to take a stand for these players. That lasted a good 2 days, apparently. Because at the end of the day, AvrgGuy's integrity can be purchased for the low, low cost of a level 5 Robo Bebe. So what are the takeaways here, guys? Well, despite innumerable mistakes, the Redlinks team continues to prove to us day in and day out that they do not understand the gaming community. Sure, everybody wants to watch YouTubers play fun and new and interesting stuff whenever they're playing a game like this. But not when those players can't get the cards themselves, can't try it out themselves, and probably won't be able to after months. Furthering the imbalance by handing players 13,000 coins and hundreds upon hundreds of cards and materials that would take other players weeks or lots of money to get, furthering the already existing and gross imbalance in this game. Create your YouTube channels, guys. Create your YouTube channels, because apparently that is the only way that we can expect legitimate rewards of the free nature of any kind from Redlinks staff. So go ahead, do it. I hope the community is flooded with YouTubes. All you need is 50 subscribers. You can get there easy, and if that's the only way you're going to get supported, then go ahead. And finally, when you're watching YouTube and when you're watching people who do content for this game in the future, reward guys like Pharaoh, like Abio, others who I will link in the comments, guys with integrity and who are not willing to compromise their values for the sake of their channels, and who won't be placated simply by being handed a level 5 common and told to go enjoy themselves. Well, I think that's enough for me. It's been fun, everyone, so thanks for joining, and until next time, namaste, friends. Have a good one.